So now let's talk about factorization. And as we talk about factorization, we need to understand first of all what factors are, right? So you can imagine if I've got two numbers, perhaps 6 and 15, right? 6 is the same as 2 times 3, right? 2 and 3 are the factors of 6. They are the numbers that divide into 6 or multiply to give you 6. And then for 15 is 3 times 5, right? So 3 and 5 are the factors of 15, right? So factorization has to do with factoring out, right? Or looking for the common factor, right? So the common factor between these two is 3, right? The common factor is 3. If we're going to remove this 3, we'll be left with only a 2 there. If we remove the 3 there, we're only left with a 5 there, right? So if I had something like 6x plus 15y, right? I can factor out a 3, and then this becomes 2x plus 5y, right? Remember, if I remove the 3, I'm left with the 2 here. If I remove the 3, I'm left with the 5 there, right? So you factored out, or you've just looked for the highest common factor and divided 6 divided by 3 to 15 divided by 3, 5. So you're factoring out, you're removing something, such that if you multiply, you need to come back to the original position. 3 times 2 should give you 6, which it does. 3 times 5 should give you 15, which it does. So when you're factorizing, you're simply looking for the highest common factor between the terms that you're looking at, right? In this case, it was 6x plus 15y. And you're factoring it out, right? Such that if you multiply your result, it would send you back to the original situation. So let's try a few examples there. We have 3x plus 9. So if we look at 3 and 9, what's the largest number that can go into 3 and also go into 9? It's 3. So 3 is what we factor out. We found a common factor, a number that can go into 3 and that can also go into 9. Now, once we factored out 3, right, we literally just divide 3x divided by 3, I just get an x. 9 divided by 3, I just get a 3. So this is the result, our factorization, right? If I were to multiply backwards, 3 times x will give me 3x, 3 times 3 will give you 9. So this is equal to that. If I look at 2y and 14z, right, what's the largest number that can go into 2y and 14z? It's a 2, right? And if I divide 2y divided by 2, the 2's cancel off, I have a y. If I divide 14z divided by 2, 14 divided by 2 is 7, then I'll get 7z. So this is what 2y plus 14z is like when it's factorized. The next thing now is 5xy minus 15y. So if I look at 5 and 15, what's the largest number that can go into 5 and 15? It's a 5. But now, before I submit my brackets, or before I open my brackets, I realize that I also have a y there and a y there, right? So I can also factor out a y because it's a common factor. It's found here and it's also found there. So my factor, my common factor is not just 5 now. It's 5y, right? So if I say 5xy divided by 5y, the 5 and y cancel out, I have x. Minus 15 divided by 5, that's 3. The y's cancel off, that's 3z here. So 15xy minus 15yz is equal to 5y times x minus 3z, right? If I were to multiply this times that, I would come back here, okay? The next thing now is minus 3x minus 6. Minus 3x minus 6. Here, I can actually factor out a minus as well, because there's a minus there and a minus there. So I can factor out the minus. And then when I look at the numbers, 3 and 6, my highest common factor there is 3, right? And now when I divide minus 3x divided by minus 3, I'm left with just an x. And minus 6 divided by minus 3, the minus is cancelled out. So I have a positive here. 6 divided by 3, that's 2. a positive 2. So when I factor out a minus here, there was a minus there, but now it changes to a positive, such that if I multiply this, I'll get back here. That's the important thing. You can check your answer to see if it's correct. You multiply these brackets and see if you're getting back to your original position, which you should always get. We've got 12x squared minus 8x. So in this case, we have 12x squared minus 8x. We look at the numbers. What's the highest common factor? It's 4. 4 is the largest number that can go into 12 and 8. But now what do we see? We have an x squared and an x, right? In other words, there are two x's there and there's one x there. So I can factor out one x because both of these can contribute at least one x. So if I say 12 divided by 4, I get 3. There were two x's, one x has been factored out, so there's one x left in the brackets. Minus 8 divided by 4, that's 2. There was one x, that one x was factored out, so there's nothing left there. So now I have 4x times 3x minus 2. So it takes a lot of practice to really get going with this, but you can try some questions on this.